Devolution increases efficiency, excellence, and exploitation of the potentials of our young generation, as the county government will set the standards of excellence and success as per the ability and standards of the county.
Devolving education will be the biggest mistake this country will ever make.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Great Debaters Contest Connect Edition. We're giving you a veteran outlook on past debates, and I am Austin Yumbok. Young lady?
Eden Kimondo, a pharmacy student at University of Nairobi.
Julie Kiruma, student of Jacket Karen, Actual Science.
Chris Jirma, engineering student at Jomo Kenyatta University.
Abigail Kadzo, interior design student at Maseno University.
Okay, and now I'm Mariam Bishar, your host for the show. So today we're discussing a motion between Turbo High School and Kituro High School on whether education should be devolved to the county government. So panel, we've already seen so many functions of our national government being devolved to the county government. Should education be the next in line? The proposition talked a lot about things like making it easier to control the quality of education and even curbing cheating when we devolve to our counties. Do you agree with that, Julie?
Yes and no. Yes, if it's per county, it'd be much easier for teachers to complain maybe a payroll, and it'd be much easier to educate and everything would be central. No, the education system would be leveled. You get someone from Alliance who has a lot of resources would be different from someone who's in Wajir or Garissa. That's why it'll be, when you go to university, it'll be different.
Julia might ask a question. Don't you think that the fact that we've devolved those services to the county level, don't you think it'll give opportunities for counties that have previously been termed as hardship areas to actually come up, because they'll be more able to prioritize their development and the factors in the county that they believe are important in ensuring they have the best education?
But are the resources active?
Good question.
Very good question.
That's why we have devolution, Julie. I'd like to disagree with her on that. The reason why we're bringing education, decentralizing it from the central government to the county government, is so that the opportunities the students at Alliance have will be able to have an equal opportunity. Those guys who will study at Turkana or Mandera or, those places that don't have the adequate resources to bring up a well-equipped student at the end of the 4-year curriculum. So we're devolving such that they may be able to get the same opportunity. So when we bring down onto the county level, we can be able to put the exact resources that are in Alliance, as you've said, to be in the rural school. So
Chris, let me ask you something. The opposition talked about lack of exposure when we devolve the function of education to the county governments. You go to a local nursery school, local primary school, secondary, and then you go to the county polytechnic at the end of the day. You haven't interacted with anyone from any other part of the country. You don't even know what's outside the boundaries of your county. Do you agree with that?
Okay, ma'am. That's a question I'd disagree to agree in the aspect of when we talk about devolution, we're not saying that they'll just be limited there, as per my opinion. Yes, they'll grow up in that system where education has been devolved, but interaction has not been inhibited. They can still study in the same curriculum, in the same county, but we can have forums with different counties, such that people will be able to get equal resources in the region, but not that they will not be able to meet with each other.
Okay, Eden? Sorry. I think Eden had a different view.
The problem is, when we devolve education, first, education is one of the means where we bring national cohesion into our country. It's one of the uniting factors of the country because we share a common system. When we devolve education, this means that every county gets to decide what they will do in the education system, gets to decide what they will teach and what they will not teach, the amount of the interaction that they allow and that what they won't allow. So first things, when we get to a point where we need now to become professionals, at the end of the day, this person in Alliance and this person in Takana, they'll still have different resources. But there's someone in Takana who will still want to be a doctor. There's someone in Alliance who will still want to be a farmer. So at the end of the day, there's not that merge will miss, because what we'll have is a culture shock and a very big divide of the people from the metropolitan region having an education system that favors technology, and people from a region that's not metropolitan will have an education system that favors farming and favors other things, forgetting that this person, that's not maybe what they wanted to do. They wanted to do something else. They wanted to do engineering, but now you've subjected them to farming. When you devolve it, that means first you're wasting a lot of resources trying to create another system for each of the 47 counties, while we're already having problem with one education system.
I think when we talk about devolution, it doesn't mean we get rid of the Ministry of Education and the things they handle. It just means we devolve some of the things that are, let's say, tacky for them to handle, for the county government, like employing teachers, paying teachers, building schools, taking care of the things that per se would be a bit tacky for the national government, because one Ministry of Education cannot handle the building of schools in 47 counties, employing teachers. Do they know how many teachers are in this school? Do they know what schools need teachers? What schools have enough teachers? What schools have an overflow of students in class,
So what is their job if they don't know all that?
You see, what they did with the Ministry of Health, they're still the Ministry of Health, yes? They regulate things like production of medicine, the pharmaceutical things and things of that. And then what devolution of health at the county does is you handle things like employing nurses or making sure there's light in hospitals, making sure health at the county government, per se hospitals are okay or medical services are okay. And then what the national government or the Ministry of Health does at the national government is handle bigger issues that per se we cannot yet devolve at the county government, or are too complex for the county government to handle.
But with the Ministry of Health, there is a referral. If the county government can't handle it, they can refer to the national hospital. What will you do with schools? If the primary school can't handle it, what do you refer them to the national school, or what do you do there in between? We need a standard. We need something that will put us on the map of something.
So
because we can't just say because they will oversee and ensure that the education system in the county is going okay. But then still the education system in Nakuru County and Nairobi County are different. And education is one thing that will need at a standard for us to have a level playing ground even in the professional field.
That's why we're having the setup of education being devolved from the region, the nation as a whole, to the county, such that what is missing in Takana, for example, is set up in Takana, and what is in Alliance is taken to Takana.
The question
thanks to to the devolvement. That's why we're saying.
I get what they're saying. He's sort of answering Eden's question. First of all, do you think there is merit in the current system of education where we had the national, in high school, for example, a national school, a provincial school, and a county school? Do you think there's merit with that system so that if we were to abolish it and make it such that after primary school, I just go to high school? There is no big exam to determine what level high school I fit in. I just go to high school, I learn, and then maybe at university level is where we can weed people out.
I merit the structure.
There's no need for to fuss so much over standard education at high school level.
I can merit the structure because when it was conceived, the main goal was to ensure that a national school will actually be structured in such a way it can accommodate students from from the entire nation.
But only students of a certain level of intellect as determined by an exam.
Look at it this way. This is how it was structured. The goal was a national school will be built to accommodate a lot of students from all over the nation. A provincial school is actually structured such a way that it can cater to the needs of the students within the province. Understand? Such that in a sense we don't have a scramble for schools. You understand? It's just that's why there's a body that ensures that this school gets this number of students, this school gets this number of students. When we allocate it that way, we ensure that everybody has a fighting chance no matter where you come from. Because at the same, in Turkana, there's a district school, and with developments, there'll be a provincial school and the same, such that it'll be able to polarize because the national school will bring students from all over the country to that area.
So I get what you're saying. The spirit of forming them was a good one, but it became about academic ability, not about integration necessarily. So I think, is it time that we just have schools, all at a standard level of education. We don't grade people in high school, especially, and primary school. We don't grade people according to KCSE or whatever. You graduate, you move from primary school onto a secondary school where everybody has an equal chance of now going to university. Universities, that one is a different sector.
I don't think so, because it will make people lazy. When you used to be in primary, we used to work hard so that you get a good grade so that you can move to a good school. If you remove KCSE, KCPE, people will just slag and say, okay, I can get this mark. I'm assured I'm going to go to university. I'm assured to go to high school. Right now, if I knew that there was my KCPE doesn't care, I will just sit in class, listen. If I get a 250, well and good, I can move on. Now, with the KCP, it makes people to actually read and be good and pass.
I have a utopian idea of, let's say, having high schools and primary schools and nursery schools, even if we choose to devolve education, having them all have a standard level of education where it doesn't matter what school you go to, at least up to high school level, we're all at an even playing field. And we don't have to all stay within the same county. We can mix up, we can move around, but let the level of education be standard, up at least until that level. If you want to rate universities, that's a different story.
Quick question. If you think that education should be devolved, just tell us why in a sentence. Make it short. All around the board.
I don't think it should be devolved. We need standardization in the education system for professionalism, for acceptance even outside our country, for people to get employed outside if they would like and not stay in Kenya, just for standardization of our education system.
Thank you.
I think it should be devolved to loosen the striking for the teachers. At least now, the teachers won't go to the government to complain. They'll go first to the county, then the government.
Yeah, so we reduce the burden of remuneration of the teachers and make it more specific.
Exactly. So if a county is not paying, it's the county's fault.
It's their problem. It doesn't affect the whole nation.
Yes, so kids won't have issues with school.
Oh, that's smart.
I think it should be devolved because so as to level the standard of education. That's simple.
I think we're not ready to devolve education yet. In the far future, yes, but for now, we're not ready to devolve.
Mariam, before we go on break?
I think even before I don't even think we should be asking this question. I think our education system has much bigger problems to deal with before we even talk about devolution. The system itself has so many challenges. If we just fix it, and then maybe we can think about devolution. So that even when we're devolving, there is something worthy of devolution. There's something worthy of trickling to every part, every corner of Kenya.
Okay, thank you very much. And to your viewers, do you think that education should be devolved to the county government? I'm Austin Yambok. See you after the break.
Devolving education to the county levels will enhance ethnicity, social deviancy, and also selfishness.
There will be easy supply of education facilities and funds like books and laptops, which enhance reading and easy accession to education facilities.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the show, and our panel over the break was discussing what ails our education system, and I know it's a very sensitive subject, so I'll begin with yes, Eden.
Our education system, when it was formed, it was for the good. Whoever did it in a way that it was supposed to benefit everyone. But it came to a point where it's a matter of success and it's a matter of the A's other than actual learning. And that's where the problem came in. That's when we started having spoon feeding, where now you're actually being taught the exam so that you just do the exam and pass and the school can succeed. And you, wherever you're going, it's your problem. If you can't apply, just move. We just need you out of the way. And that is what has spoiled, because now it has opened us to cheating. It has opened us to very many things that aren't really opened us to cramming other than understanding, and that's what's ailing our education system.
In high school, I did triple science in CRE, and what I needed for actual science was only math, maybe an IT. So I don't understand why I had to learn 8 subjects, because I'm required to learn 8 subjects, and I just did 4 or 5, because that's just something I like about the British system. Which is a certain point when, before you go to university, you say what you want to become, then you scrutinize what you want to learn, which will help you move on. Someone like if I was to choose, I'll take math, English, or Kiswahili. I take IT and CRE, and I'll be good to go, and I'll be well right now in university.
What they should do is, let's say if you want to do actuarial science, for the 844 system, they should say, okay, you, Julie, want to do actuarial science, undertake these subjects. I want to become an engineer, I'll do this subject.
Exactly.
I'm just saying it's the I've not said 844 as a problem, the implementation of 844.
844 is a system with very many glitches, but I think it's a very nice system because personally, I believe everything I did, I was not forced to do. Everything I did in one way or another relates to what I am doing right now. I think what 844 does, A, it teaches you balance, and B, it teaches you how everything correlates with everything. Something is joined to the other. There's a few things that need to be fixed, but the whole system was made to help us, and it is helping us.
I agree the system was made to help us. But after all the biology I did in high school, I go to campus and we're told, the way you say that is wrong. The biology we learn is supposed to be standard or a foundation for a doctor, a chemist, a pharmacist, an interior design. But then if you're going to campus and then you're being told, what you were taught in high school, scratch that. What I tell you from now is what is the gospel truth. Because what they did in high school was just rush you to pass your exam. That is the problem with the 844 system. They got to a point where all they did was spoon feed us.
When I was doing my B.Ed, I learned to appreciate all my teachers that took me through high school. And I realized that I was the one with the problem with the attitude. And at first, when I started this conversation with my friends and telling them, wow, what we are taught in high school, we should be taught at this level because it's more pertinent right now. Because I feel,
exactly. So why did they teach us at that point?
Just hold on. Then I was corrected and said, perhaps those who taught you at that time did not do a very good job. Because what you're taught right now, you should be able to maintain it till right now, such that you can use it right now when you're outside in the world. So the problem with 844 is not even the system, because I can tell you for a fact the system is perfect. The only problem is the teachers.
Okay.
The teachers, the people who are supposed to mentor you.
So as a teacher, what have you done to change it?
I make sure my students are not geared towards the exam. I make sure if I'm teaching evolution, they understand the correlation to evolution and their life right now.
People say 844 churns out half-baked people, but also over-baked people. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Education should create a well-rounded person at the end of the day. I don't know who on this panel feels like they were well-rounded by the 844 system. Too much focus on academic subjects, very little on physical health, on creative subjects like arts and music and everything. Even though how many did like music and arts and craft in primary school? In primary school, exactly. Mm-hmm. You're somehow supposed to start it from high school without a foundation. So you lack the life skills that come with such subjects, but then you know so much about others. I don't know, there's a lack of a balance. You know, you're overbaked and you're underbaked.
Can I comment on that based on fact, right? Mm-hmm. The 844 was envisioned with the mindset that the teacher, is a guide and a facilitator within the classroom. Understand? That's why most teachers would tell you, I know it sounded like a lazy statement, but, I'll only give you 25%, you give me the rest of the 75%. The 844 is modeled in a situation such that from an onset, we're building independent young minds. The only problem is that now those same teachers, instead of modeling you, to be independent, to understand and create your own links to what you're learning and what is important in your lives, are the same teachers who will tell you the main importance of learning this topic is it is going to be tested in this exam. That's where we fail. But that doesn't mean the system is wrong. I'm just saying that I blame the teachers, and not all of them, because there are very good teachers out there. I'm just saying that the teachers that are there and they're driving or drilling their children to just read and pass exams, that's the problem. You should ensure that this child, like when I'm teaching French, I try and incorporate, make everybody speak, because it's a foreign language. Trust me, if 844 served its entire purpose, Kenyans would be the highest sought after personnel in this entire world, because we're able to apply this to that, to this, to that, to this, to that.
I know most people who finished high school, they got a straight A in everything, but they don't know what they're going to do in university. So where do they end up going? IB, Aga Khan, so that they can just, that's like 2 years you've wasted. Yet it can be curbed by doing this. Let's say you say Form 1, Form 2, you'll be taught in a nutshell. So that in Form 3 and Form 4, they dwell in those 2 subjects. I think that'll be much better, because if I did in Form 1 and Form 2, those 3 subjects, I'll be like, okay, I know the top, just the cream on top of those subjects. So that when I'm going to the lifespan, I'll know, yeah, I've learned ABCD, but I didn't dwell so much in ABCD because it won't help me. But in math, I dwelled in everything, and now it's helping me. If they do that, I think we'll go somewhere.
How do we move from reading for grades to education, actual education, to gaining knowledge, to gaining life skills, to moving beyond, I want an A, I want a B+, I want, to moving beyond calculating cluster points for your course? How, just, if someone could solve that problem for me, keeping the 844 system in place. Don't change the system. Let's just get educated instead of reading for a grade.
May I?
Okay.
May I?
Yes.
Let's abolish and literally vehemently abolish KCSE, because KCSE to me limits a child's choice on what he or she can become. Let's scrap KCSE. Let's put the burden of choosing who should come into universities on the universities themselves. Yeah, let's have the universities have set exams. Yeah. Of course, by the time, and in terms of evaluation, you'll ask me, we've scrapped KCSE. How do you know you've qualified for university? You're in high school for 4 years. You're not sitting, you're not just there listening to the teacher, you're doing exams, you do assessment tests. Why don't all that count towards you going to university? Let's evaluate that. And also, let's add more into the mix. Let's make sure your co-curricular activities also are put into context. That is, if you're doing sports, yeah, you're very active in sports, and your grades are this way, yeah, are showing this particular trend. There's a university that has always excelled in sports. You should be given first priority to go there. Not your cluster, not anything, but the fact that for all those 4 years, you've invested in this activity, you've done this, your grades according to all those 4 years are this. That is what should count in what university or what institution of higher learning you get into.
I think, okay, yes, I agree with you, but I don't think we need to remove KCSE completely.
We should.
No, listen to my point here. Yes, we remove it. I'm not refused. But let's make it after every 4 years, do an exam that school has set. If you pass that exam, they're like, because the schools don't understand what they've taught you, what they've not taught you, and everything.